Well, good afternoon and welcome to the TSL final round coverage here on the Daily Potato Company live stream. A massive game here at the Twin Ovals for you this afternoon, just about to get underway. It is the Tigers and the Bombers. The Bombers, the equation is simple: win and they are in. The Tigers going to stand in their way. Not a heap to play for them this afternoon, as they look to play spoiler on a Lauderdale team with everything to play for. I'm Andrew Cullen, calling the action for you. Looking at getting the graphics up for you. A few technical issues behind the scenes at the moment. Hopefully they'll be off and running soon. The game certainly is. Lockie Clifford away with it for the Tigers. He swings it round the corner towards the half-forward line. Competing there was Wright. Coming in Eddie Cole. The umpire plucks a free kick. And go the way of the Bombers, who need to win this one to qualify. If they lose, it'll be a percentage battle between them and the Northern Bombers, who are taking on Glenorchy as we speak. There's a good shirt grab there. Martin gets the free kick for the Bombers. They look to start quickly here with some purpose. Put in the whole Gardner will drop back in there for the Tigers. Zach Adams clears the area. Wasn't his best kick. Thrown back into play here by the umpire. Massive clash this one. Final round of the regular season. They need to win here to the Lauderdale Bombers. Tigers win this one down by Gardner. Clifford scored it to the line. Toss it back into play. Very tight here in the TSL. Getting into this final round. Lauderdale, a game clear of North Launceston. Of course, tough opponent here against the Tigers today. Northern Bombers, you'd fancy, should be able to beat the Magpies pretty comfortably. They will make up 10 percentage points, so the pressure on the Bombers to win this one. If they lose, they could well slip on out of finals. They control their own fate in that regard. Hits the deck, coming through is College. Bombers able to take back over. William Poland in the side today. He's laid out for the Bombers. This one's chipped in short to Walsh. And Walsh will load up and send the Bombers to half forward. Wasn't a great kick. Dropping one he should have had though was Keogh, allowing back in Luke Patton. Now Christensen. He's tangled with Bogadomski. Did well to hold him up. Got the ball inside forward 50, looking for the dangerous Sam Siggins. Now play for a throw in. What a key Sam Siggins is going to be this afternoon. One of the superstars of this competition. He's had an incredible season as Sam Siggins. Looking to push his side over the top and into finals today. He was grabbed after the ruck contest there. Nothing doing, says the umpire. Got a Marlin lurking as the Bombers get on the attack early on here. Back into play. Siggins as the ruckman wins it down. Slap back cleverly. Christensen, outside of the boot. Not a good effort. It will go to the top of the square. The defensive spoil came in. Some lovely work from Lennon Marlin there just to keep the play alive. Work it back to Christensen. It's the Bombers doing the early attacking in this one. This must-win game. Gardner against Siggins, just took it out of the ruck, slung his kick goalward. And there was Blackburn, back over the shoulder. Blackburn is just off target. And the first score of the day behind to Lauderdale. Dangerous Michael Blackburn. Entertainer in that forward line, just unable to convert a poor kick from Elijah Reardon, turned it straight over there to Franklin. He was caught from behind just in the nick of time. They look to work it forward. Rees there for the Tigers. And his kick was rather blazing away to Josh McGuinness, who's picked off a couple early on at half back. He gets another one there. This one's sent wide, looking for Sam Tilley. And he keep it in here, the lively Tilley. He flicked the handball over the top to Harry Richmond. An impressive season, and he shows composure to find Williams here. Williams now looking for Blackburn. Was that in the back? It was. Free kick will go the way of Zach Adams. Adams called to move on by the umpire. Runs it outside, defensive 50. Fell out the back, coming through O'Neill. Has some support in Ashland, gets into trouble. Is that holding the footy? It is. Free kick to Williams. They bring the heat early on in this one, as they must. So the Bombers will go inside 50 once again, doing all the attacking early on here, through the hands of Tilly, out the back to Gardner. His kick finds its way through to right. Now Golding under some pressure here. Slung just as he kicked and carried on a little, did it? Free kick will go the way of the Tigers, and Golding take back over. Drives it into the corridor. Reardon now looking to create off half back. He's a lovely user. He just sticks this one out in front of Luke Graham, and Graham, with a safe pair of hands, judging it nicely. He's a goal kicker. Here's Luke Graham. He'll go back for around about 40 out. The first real foray forward this afternoon. The Tigers have won the first two clashes against the Lauderdale Bombers this season. The first one coming all the way back in round one. It was 101 to 67 at Skybus. It was far more comprehensive the second time around. 63-point win back in round 8. This, though, by far the most important of their meetings. Luke Graham with the Tigers' first opportunity of the afternoon. He slots it right through the middle. A lovely kick from Luke Graham. And the Tigers take the lead here. They're one straight 6. The Bombers one behind. First attack. First goal for Kingborough. So they had started this game pretty positively, the Bombers. They've been happy with the opening 5 minutes. The game firmly on their terms, but the first goal goes the way of Graham. So the ball will surely have to be recalled here. A bit of wind at play this afternoon, as it often is down here at the Twins. A tough ground to judge results until half-time generally. That's going to be holding the football, I reckon. Eddie Cole said to be rewarded. No. Play on, going the Bombers' way. Must have been a hold. Seggins couldn't quite bring it down. There's Richmond now. Flicks it back to Christensen. He's offline. Couple of behinds early for the Bombers. So we'll be keeping an eye. We're going to KG5. Battle for fourth spot. Defining this final round of the season. Reardon clears defensive 50. Look at the wind take a hold of that ball. Takes it all the way to the boundary. We'll have a throw in. In tough conditions. Do fancy that it favours the end, being attacked by the Bombers here in quarter number 1. Back into play. Riggs driving it down the line. 2-on-2 there. Strong spoil came from behind. Williams sees it out of play for another throw in. Hear the wind howling through the effects bike. Going to be a difficult day. Ball use out there. Really impact the kicks, and Sense already really drag all the play to this side of the ground. Hayden Smith drops it back. Great tackle from behind. Caught with it was Kenny. No Price, so he made an attempt. It's all good play on. Picked up by Ned Shaw. He's taken to the ground, but high was the call against Eddie Cole. He'll have to go back behind his mark there before he can race off with that one, Ned Shaw. Now just stands up a little kick looking for Fletcher Hooker on a searching lead. Hooker spreads the play wide. Godomski across for the Tigers. Drop one he should have taken. Fell through to Sam Siggins. Dangerous man to cough the ball up to. His handball into traffic went straight to Elijah Reardon though. Reardon clears defensive 50. Nice nicely defended there. Two players running into each other. The beneficiary, O'Neill, able to work it up the field. His kick a poor one, though, straight to Williams. The Bombers will take over once again. Good job winning the ball back. Leonard Marlin sells a little bit of candy, and he drives them to the 50-metre arc. Siggins from behind with the lead. Couldn't bring it down. Impacted the contest, though. Coming through was Martin. Eventually won back by Griggs. And the umpire's blown a free kick. It's going to go the way of the Bombers. Can they pump it deep inside 50 once more? They will. Richmond a likely target. Couldn't bring it down, though. It's a nice relieving mark taken back there and quickly played on because he had a 2-on-1. Might work out if Ashland can get a handle on this football. Does so eventually. Plays the 1-2. They didn't have a lot ahead of them, so just had to play it by hand. They've thought their way through that one really well. Jordan Lane now taking a mark. He's held up at half forwards. Lane assessing the options. Just opts to stand it up. It wasn't a great kick from Jordan Lane. And the relieving mark taken back there by Shaw. Chipped to Marlin, being busy early on. A little bit of pressure at the back, but they work their way through to Fergus Kenny. Kenny sends it down the line. Floats over Gardner's head, getting a hand on it. Broomhall out the back for Reardon. Just stops, drops, and chips it into the corridor. Moving off his mark, though, was Zach Adams, so he's called to go. Send it back out towards Reardon. Lovely ball use there from Adams. Reardon just tries to punch this one underneath the wind, and a good option in the end. Finds a marking target. They chip it inside 50, but just dropping back into space. Leaving mark taken down there. They'll play on quickly once more. Wheel the Bombers into the middle of the ground. Fletcher Hooker looks up, wants to get it moving quickly. He'll send them in the Siggins direction. Great spoil from behind by Donnelly. Decisive fist away, though. Danger hasn't passed. Chip back into the pocket. Blackburn takes the mark, sliding in. There's Michael Blackburn. He's a colourful character in this forward line. He started brightly here and has a chance to give the Bombers the lead, and some reward for their early inside 50s here. You feel the amount of entries they've been getting. Probably should already have a goal in this one. So Blackburn ends his approach, sends it towards the goals. He's offline. 3 straight behinds early. Accuracy not there so far, the Bombers on a day. They need a win. That was a horrible kick out from the back, straight to Smith. Invites all sorts of pressure. They're going to be able to work their way through just about. Under some pressure was Godomski, but he was composed, worked it to right. He flicked the handball. They've been keen to move it by hand early on. Just putting the ball into space. That wasn't a good kick. And out of bounds on the full. Just coughing up a little too easily there in the end. They work it round the defence once more. Down the wing. Suki in some space. His kick just pitches inside the confines, and Christensen's well positioned. Alan Christensen, always favoured there, able to just drift in from the side. He can go back, try and find his side's first of the afternoon. Former Geelong and Brisbane player, key man for his side here this afternoon. Christensen looks to bend it back on the breeze. Didn't get the distance in the end. You can see just how much the wind is impacting things. Christensen looking to try and float it up there. Proving a difficult day for goal kicking so far. in it goes. One down by Siggins. Going through was Cole. Now taken by Zach Adams. He's off. And reconsidered his option, just chipped it sideways to Ashland instead. He's doing a good job keeping them in here. Small chip kicks on the Tigers, the order of the day. Now they try execute the switch into a 3-on-1. He had to be precise, and he was. Found Tom Wright. He didn't take the mark. That would have been disastrous. Right now, we'll send the Tigers to half forward. Over the head of Carter, out the back for Josh McGuinness. His handball finds Shaw. Great tackle, Elijah Reardon, driving him out of play. And there'll be a throw-in on centre wing. So a quarter of an hour has ticked by. Just the one goal came to the Tigers, which is why they lead this one by 3 points. But the bulk of the attacking has been done by the Bombers, who've had a lot more of the football early on. That one will elude Marlin and roll out of play for another throw-in. One straight to three behinds, but the Bombers certainly on top in general play here. A win and they qualify for finals, a loss, and it will come down to how much percentage the Northern Bombers can gain over at KG5. We'll keep an eye on that for you as Brady Rees carries it forward. Chips it there, and again that's comfortably picked off by Shaw at the back. Stabs a little pass to Tilly. Tilly works it forward for Christensen. The spoil came from Godomski. The follow-up pressure won the ball back as well. Great stuff, Godomski. Under pressure now is Brewer. Got himself into trouble, and a throw the call from the umpire. A free kick going the way of the Bombers. So Broomhall will take it and he'll send them inside 50 once more. One-on-one. Doing well to get the better of Siggins was Donnelly. Ball back in dispute. Could be in the back there, and a free kick to Hooker it is. It was just a little sloppy there from Clifford. A free kick will go the way of Fletcher Hooker. And he find the first of the afternoon for the Bombers. So Fletcher Hooker, he also misses. So 0 goals, 4 here to start. Goal kicking just letting them down so far. Sense this is probably the easier end to attack, so they're going to want to build a bit of a lead here in quarter number 1 whilst they're on top. Jordan Lane just got rid of it in time. They burrow in and they'll be the ball up once more. Interesting one trying to assess the motivations of this Tigers outfit this afternoon. Locked in to second place, can neither go up or down. Not to bring back in Lovell and Tompkinson this week. Suspect if it was a must-win game they would be playing, but no need for anything other than cotton wool at this time of the year. Certainly the Bombers have so much more to play for here this afternoon. Trying to crash through with Tilly, just got his handball away. Keeping it in was Brewer. Good spoil there. Throwing himself to the boot was Bryce Walsh, preventing the Tigers from exiting defensive 50 once more. Back into play, Siggins, right down nicely, follows up here, Sammy Siggins, ends it round the corner and he finds a marking target. Fergus Kenny bobbing up in the forward pocket. We've seen already how difficult goal kicking is this afternoon. A pretty tight angle to contend with here. Wind howling through the Twin Ovals as Fergus Kenny goes to try and find their first. He wheels inside to just cut down the angle a little bit. And he too puts it near side. And there's 0 goals, 5. Not the start they would have been looking for. The Bombers controlling the game, but somehow still trailing. Again, the Tigers having a real torrid time trying to clear defensive 50 though. The wind giving them some big issues here. Patton will be the one to take this eventually. So can Luke Patton find a target again, just stabs one inside for the leading Broomhall. Tigers win it back, just rather haphazardly slammed it on the boot though, turned it straight back over. The Bombers will drive it in once more. Graham backing back with the flight, dropping one he should have had, Tyler Martin. The snap on goal is good. And they finally get the first goal. Fletcher Hooker, I think, the goal scorer. Boy, did they need that one. 1-5. They lead by those 5 behinds. The Tigers 1 goal straight, but as we tick towards red time, it really was imperative they got some reward and something to show for their control of this match, and they get it. They do get the breakthrough goal. Lead this one by 5 points. So the umpire is wisely opting just to throw this one up now rather than bounce it down. Zach Adams in the middle, but the handball ran away from Franklin. Found Sutton. He was under immediate pressure from Graham. Graham looked like he was taken a little high there. It'll either be high or holding the ball. It will be high, so the Tigers can go inside 50. Scored from their only real meaningful entry so far. That wasn't a great kick though. Really do Jordan Lane or O'Neill any favours there as a scrap starts to break on out. Umpire blows his whistle. Gives a free kick to the Bombers. As Lane throws another one to the ground there. Suki hitting the deck. The umpire says clear out and let's get on with it, lads. And the Bombers will do just that. They clear defensive 50 with a high ball. Martin couldn't quite bring it down. Gardner, just missed it with the fist. Allowed Sutton back in. Hurrying in his Griggs. He's gathered by Broomhall. The umpire says, I'll have it. Siggins in the ruck up against Gardner. Clifford. His kick floats beyond Keogh and is picked off there by Ed Stanley in defence. Not a great kick though. Sold his teammate down the river a little there. Keogh flicks a handball out. They battle for it at ground level, burrowing in. O'Neill on the bottom of the pack. Umpire eventually says, I'll have it. Bryce Walsh. And wrapped him up. The Tigers spending some rare time inside 50 in this first quarter. Taking it out of the ruck was Carter. He was sent to the deck unceremoniously. Trying to charge through Marlin. Fight out a handball to Franklin. Kenny couldn't quite gather it. Richmond level. Burrowing in there, Harry Richmond, but unable to escape with it. Repeat stoppages. The order of the day here. A low-scoring arm wrestle. This must-win game. Sam Siggins gets the double fist to it. Slapped forward by Clifford. Just eluding Max College. He was worked off it by Walsh. He's in turn gathered by Ashland. He's hot in the kitchen at the moment. Unless you're clean, you are not getting time to dispose of the football. Umpire tosses it back up. Gardner gets the better of Siggins this time. All in dispute. Snap kick deep inside the forward line. Almost brought down by Lane, not quite. Handball flicked out to McGuinness. Showed good strength to get the handball away. Suki then flicks one wide and they'll clear defensive 50. So they hold firm to the Bombers' defence, but I was going to say it's going to come right back in, but just not completing the mark was Donnelly. Allowed the Bombers back in. Godomski through traffic, shifted across to Donnelly. Donnelly found Griggs. Griggs drives one, looking for Jordan Lane. Got a hand to it, couldn't quite haul it in. Suki there to see it out of play. Tough day for the big men like Jordan Lane, but the season he's had for the Tigers. Such quality outlet for them this season. Siggins just pushing Gardner away, then slams the kick on the boot. Reardon caught behind Tilly, eluded them both, fell out the back. Now it's a foot race. That'll always favour Reardon, but he was gathered by Tilly. Reardon in turn gets back up. Richmond just got a handball away in time. Marlon now charging through. Gathered by Martin. He's collected by Griggs. The umpire again calls for it. Real intensity about this game. You'd expect nothing less given the stakes for the Bombers. Gardner won it down. Not clean Clifford. Allows in Siggins, just looking to fend off Ashland. Got his kick away. Contested half forward. Spoil came from Donnelly. Started this game well, Ben Donnelly. The mark, well, not a mark because it wasn't 15, is brought down by College. The umpire says, I'll have it. Gardner and Siggins. Siggins takes front position, taps it down. And a kick forward to the teeth of goal. Blackburn lurking, Sorty. It's a little deflection. Play for a throw in. Towards 25 minutes. It won't be the longest of quarters. We've just had the one goal here. No major stoppages in the first quarter. Gardner won that one down. Christensen. Oh, that looked pretty deliberate from Godomski. What's the umpire's view? It's a sympathetic one. He says throw it in. Godomski getting away with that one as he sought the safety of the boundary. Into play once more, just taken out of there by Martin, gets the kick away. Again, the accuracy not quite there. 1 goal 6 to 1 goal straight. Those 6 behinds. The Bombers lead. We tick towards quarter time. Elijah Reardon. As well set up, and it's been tough kicking into a bit of a wind to try and clear defensive 50 in quarter number 1. This one floats over the top. Lane shoved a handball inside looking for Clifford. Couldn't gather it. Gardner came through, gave it back. Clifford will eventually come away with it. Found Keogh in some space. Keogh spreading it across. Surely interfered with there was Golding. Actually, I'd imagine Golding will get to take the kick. Bombers' defence has been able to get set though in the interim. So Golding again looking to just send it wide for Lane, who brings it down on this occasion. Very difficult kick from here though. A couple of times they've gone inside 50 and gone into this space. The room has been, but going to take a mighty kick from Jordan Lane given the wind blowing. He is a lovely kick of the football. However, the Tigers send half forward. What can he produce for them here? It would take something spectacular from the arc of 50. He goes back Jordan Lane. It's working back. Oh, something spectacular indeed on the siren. Jordan Lane, what a kick. And we're all level as we turn for quarter time here. Jordan Lane with a stunning goal right on the siren. And it is 12-12 at the quarter time break as a scuffle has broken out to end proceedings. But still developing here. There is plenty of feeling out there, plenty of heat, but Jordan Lane with the highlight of the first quarter. A massive kick into the wind from the arc of 50, right on the boundary line. The perfect drop punt. And he has his side back on terms at the quarter time break. Even the Bombers dominated the quarter, seem to have a wind advantage. The Tigers will take it. Be back in a few minutes with the second quarter. Tempers flaring here at the Twin Ovals. 1-6 the Tigers. Sorry, 2 straight the Tigers, 1-6 the Bombers. We'll be back with the second quarter shortly. Right, we're battling some audio issues here at the moment, so bear with us. Second quarter about to start. And 1-6. The Bombers. Two goals straight for the Tigers there in quarter number one. The Tigers in fancy have the win at their backs here in this term. Can they put that to good use? Flick back to Clifford, who's taken high there by Suki. It was Cole, rather. He got it moving quickly. They'll send it deep. Carter boiled away from him just in the nick of time. McGuinness puts it on the boot. Tumbling away, right at half forward for the Tigers now. He pumps them deep. The numbers with the Bombers. Jordan Lane always a tough presence to deal with. Ball to the deck. Under pressure, Shaw flicked the handball out to McGuinness. Working back hard was Marlin. He swings it over the top. And eventually they work it towards the wing. Flying spoil came from behind. Straight down to Marlin though. Marlin works it up. Now the bounce for Christensen, but he turned into trouble, just got the ball away. Lingering hold, perhaps Lee's allowed to get away with one. So half forward they go, searching there for Salter. Taken by Walsh. He's over the line. And he is now. The umpire will toss it back into play. So we've got our audio issues figured out there. They're causing a few problems. Patience with that one. So if you missed the first quarter, certainly the Bombers going to the easier end to attack your fancy. Kicked 1-6, whilst 2 goals straight, including a goal for 50 out on the boundary right on the siren for Jordan Lane. Is why we are all squared up here in this must-win game for the Lauderdale Bombers. Win in their end, lose. They're going to need to protect a 10 percentage point gap from the Northern Bombers, who slender leaders over the Magpies at the moment, but we'll wait and see how that develops. Christensen's caught here and he's made no attempt to get rid of the football. Umpire says, I'll have it. So the sun shining now here at the Twins as Smith goes with Gardner in the ruck. Clifford first hands to the ball, spinning into trouble there. Once again, they're getting stuck in. There was a bit of a scuffle at the quarter time break that lasted a few minutes. Back inside to Sutton. Sutton just slams it on the boot. Floats across the arc of 50, then bounces awkwardly. Nicely for Patton though. Swooped on it, runs in and misses. Oh, Luke Patton blazes away. Puts one across the face he surely should have had. 1-7. The goal kicking plaguing them early on here, the Bombers. They've been the better side. They lead by just a point. Reardon now goes in the Lane direction. Oh, it's tough for him. Suki in close proximity and out of play. Back in once more. Ground level. Hooker with hands to it. Side's lone goal kicker at this stage. That's your Hooker. Snap around the corner from the set shots. They've been pretty inefficient. Lennon Marlin busy in quarter number one, but he's immediately gathered in a strong tackle here from Zach Adams. Smith looking to get in there and throw his body weight around. Continuing his duel with Marcus Gardner. Smith cleverly over the top to Marlin. Through traffic, Leonard Marlin. Driving them deep to the teeth of goal. The spoil came from Donnelly. Off hands to College. He just slammed it on the boot. Ball in dispute now. Flicked out the back. Sutton just worked underneath it. Coming through now is Griggs. Flicked a handball blind over the top to Marlin. In prominent Leonard Marlin. And he'll drive them back inside 50 here. The numbers with the Tigers. Reardon couldn't complete the mark. I think we're going to have this one locked in for another stoppage inside the Bombers 50. Had the better of the midfield battle so far this afternoon. Siggins, Clifford, advantage paid as Clifford spreads it out wide to Golding. Left it behind, under pressure now from Patton, forced to just screw it on the left foot awkwardly. Out the back, Williams fighting hard for the Bombers. He just scored it over the line by O'Neill. He's thrown back in. So as it stands, with a 1-point lead, Bombers would play finals. Win and they are in is the scenario. A simple one as far as they're concerned. Half forward. All in dispute once more. Clever from Tilly. Gave it to Kenny. Kenny to Marlon. He's a thumping kick if he can get the room. He handballed it off to Hooker instead. Got his shot for goal all wrong. Floats into the pocket. Cooper Sorty down there up against Sticks Blackburn. And it'll be thrown in. So again, ball use and goal kicking inside 50. Just letting this Bombers outfit down. Apart from that, been quite good this afternoon. Gardner plucks it out of the ruck, coughed it straight up though, turned it over to Hooker, who had no interest in letting go of that one as Reardon locks him up. Gardner up against Siggins. Going nowhere. Bottom of that pack again, Siggins, but going nowhere. And a lot of stoppages in this game. It's been a very contested clash. Ruckman have been quite busy so far. Gardner wins another one down. Christensen just about taken high, I reckon there, Alan Christensen. The umpire agrees. Pays the free kick, just turning the body cleverly there. Infringing was Godomsky, so Christensen from the tight angle. Left one short, a chance early in quarter number one. Distance shouldn't be an issue here. He snaps it round the corner to perfection. Alan Christensen with the finish his side needed. And they're out by 7 points here, 2-7 to 2 straight. If they can tidy that area of the game up, they'll be in very good stead, the Bombers. They lead by 7. Christensen with his first for the afternoon. So Smith and Gardner to resume their running battle. Smith won it down. Tackle laid by Kenny. Working his way through Ashland. He's immediately collected. Pressure around the ball has been first rate from the Bombers today. They've certainly got everything to play for. Getting into the finals. Week one, clever little handball to Clifford, who slams it on the boot and drifts all the way inside 50. Suki and Kenny sharing it. Kenny clears the area with the kick and find the safety of the boundary line. Back into play once more. Marlon, fantastic this afternoon. Thumps this one forward, Reardon, reading it off the boot over the interceptor. Creative player off half-back. He goes for distance on this occasion, just blasts it towards the half-forward line. Lane always a likely target. Keogh coughed it up though to Kenny. Kenny with a risky one back inside, looking for Sutton. Gets himself in a bit of trouble there. Slapped on by Graham. Taken away by Patton. He shares it with Tilly, went back to Patton. Some lovely work there, but not a lot ahead of him. Was forced just to tread water, hold a little ground. Christensen eventually made the lead, but front position, free kick will go the way of the Tigers. Godomsky, who quickly dishes off to Elijah Reardon, who just punches one down the line, looking for Luke Graham. Getting a hand to it was Ned Shaw. Easier for the Tigers to transition off half-back and move the ball here in this quarter, but a bit of a swirling cross breeze to an extent. Favouring the Tigers' end, but making it easy by any means for anybody. Sutton goes off the ground. Got a little piece of it. College will be first to it, and he's given a coat hanger there from Christensen. That'll be a high tackle. Just a little overzealous there, Christensen. You see what he's trying to do. Make his physical presence felt, but just slid a little high there and gives up a rather unnecessary free kick in the end. Tigers to take over. Lane the target here, and a strong pair of hands from Jordan Lane. Carter makes his lead. One way and then the other, and then he'll just set it to the top of the square for him. Carter, the spoils came. The 2-on-1, clever from Graham, worked it to Eddie Cole. Cole dribbling one into the post. The first blemish on the Tigers scoreboard for the afternoon. 2-1 to 2-7. Josh McGuinness with the kicking duties. The sun shining here at the Twin Ovals. Able to a little territory, then sends them outside the defensive 50, looking for his ruckman Smith. Brought to ground. Adams coming through for the Tigers. Slams it on the boot. Suki was always favoured and takes the intercept mark. Forced to kick to a contest here though. And he's Suki. Fly was completely unrealistic from Tilly. The mark taken by Gardner anyway. Sends it over the head of Lane and straight to Josh McGuinness. So the Tigers now side struggling with inside 50 entries, just not using the ball as perhaps they'd like. Sam Tilly's been busy. Gave it to McGuinness. Considered a little kick for Ned Shaw. Shaw now goes for a little more distance, drives them to the half-forward line, backing back. Reardon able to gather it. He's in turn sandwiched by Richmond and Christensen. Gardner wins it down only to Marlin though, tumbles it inside 50. Reardon trying to charge through. Oh, weaving through traffic, Elijah Reardon. Didn't quite collect the kick as he would have liked. It was a difficult one though, and they've kept a hold of it. They swing it back inside 50. How will it bounce? Favourably for the Tigers. The snap around the corner. He's offline. Just behind. So 2-2 to 2-7. North Launceston rather, starting to build a bit of a lead over Glenorchy elsewhere. 34-6 now, getting a move along in quarter number 2. And that will be all for nothing if the Bombers can hold on and win this one here. Suki with the mark. Just shipping one short, ugly kick, nearly turning it over. In the end, they forced a stoppage. Clifford. Gardner and Smith out the back. Tilly took it, drew the contact. Tackle from Brewer. Repeat stoppages has very much been the pattern of this game. Space at a premium, and the wind making all these pretty tough. Any team to chip the ball around. A lot of congested stuff. Here's Luke Graham. Swept the handball out the back. Marlin got a hand in, then laid the tackle. Now coming through. Cole swung them inside 50. Lane dropping the chest mark in the end, bouncing off. Ned Shaw, he's gathered in a strong tackle. Pressure coming from Jackson Keogh. Lane against Smith on this occasion. Body up, Lane won it down, slapped it straight to Siggins. Charging through Ashland. Swinging a goal, it has been marked. Superb from Carter, then does the team thing, squares it up. Oh, brilliant from McGuinness, gets a hand in, saves a certain goal. Then lays the tackle, danger still not past here. Suki puts it on the boot. Free kick the way of the Bombers, but well done Josh McGuinness. He saves the day for the Bombers, and they're off and running through Luke Patton. Charging off half-back, swept the handball inside to Siggins, returned it back to Patton. Luke Patton now looks up at his forward 50, sees plenty of Tigers, works it out the back, a chance for Broomhall if he can gather. Sorty went low, and he's rewarded with a free kick. Cooper Sorty gets it moving quickly, but that invited in Tyler Martin, who gets a hand on it. And he puts it out of play for a throw in. So some good defensive efforts here from the Bombers. You can tell they are going all out for the win today. Can't fault their endeavour. Just the execution lacking a little so far today, but their attack on the man and ball has been first rate. Clifford clears defensive 50. Intercept mark from Stanley. He'll pump it back in immediately. Driving them deep. Oh, what a mark from Michael Blackburn. He gets up and brings it down. In his typical style, he is an entertainer, this man. And Blackburn will go back to try and extend the lead to 11 points. Can Michael Blackburn produce the goods here? Distance won't be a problem. Not a heap of angle to speak of, but it never looked likely, did it? He's got ungainly style at the best of times, Sticks Blackburn. And when it doesn't come off, it can look quite ugly as that did there. He misses one he should have had. Oh, good strong mark taken. The half back line there. Smith, slightly high over the shoulder there on Jordan Lane. Umpire blowing the free kick. So 6 points the lead here in favour of the Bombers. You fancy it should be a little more as Eddie Cole slides in to take it. Luke Graham wants it further afield, but thinks better of that. Thought about the switch and then went for a risky kick to right that gets picked off here. They've invited some pressure. Flicked out. Found its way to College. Couldn't take it cleanly. Eventually Walsh will wrap that up and the umpire will take over. So a little sloppy there off half-back Eddie Cole. Almost doing a good job structuring off the ball so far in this one. Coming through with it, Ed Stanley. Used it nicely. Then they go looking for a target in Blackburn. Pitch, but wouldn't stay in for him against his opposite number, Cooper Sorty. Back into play. Flicks out the handball to Eddie Cole. Sends it wide, was looking for Salter. He's claimed by Rackett. That tells them to clear out. So a 6-point lead for the Bombers. Smith with strength won it down, but not going anywhere. Got everything to play for here this afternoon. Final spot on the line. Tigers, well, they're locked into second place. They'll be travelling up to Windsor Park regardless to take on Launceston week 1. Of course, with the double chance. So again, calls for it. One down by Smith, up by Clifford. Eddie Cole with some composure in amongst the traffic. Worked it back to Gardner. Gardner now over the head of right. They've just been missing their kicks this quarter when going forward, the Tigers. Good tackle laid there. Ducking into trouble, Stanley. Umpire correctly saying you ducked into it. O'Neill handballing back. Under pressure, Rees. Shifting it wide. Umpire's spotted something off the ball here. It's going to be a free kick going the way of the Tigers. So they'll look to work it up the wing here. Griggs was on over the top. Just delayed the delivery to him and then got the kick wrong and it floats out of bounds. Going to thread the eye of the needle in the end. It's waited a little too long, but the ball use hasn't been great going forwards this quarter. The Tigers have seen a little bit more of it than they did in quarter number 1 when they were really under siege. Gardner back into contest, couldn't quite bring it down. Smith getting a hold of Eddie Cole at ground level, trying to get rid of it. Burrowing in at ground level, it's held in, umpire lurking. We'll ball it up once more. Eddie Cole on the bottom of the packs frequently throughout this one so far. Need to ruckman decisively there. Eventually the Tigers with the clearance, and it lands in the breadbasket of O'Neill. George O'Neill can find a mark here. This is where they're breaking down at the moment, the Tigers. Again kicking to a 2-on-1. Worked out the back on this occasion though. Clifford turning. Just got rid of it. Eddie Cole now wants the safety of the boundary line, and he finds it. So we've ticked into red time in quarter number 2. It's been a real arm wrestle here at the Twins. The Bombers doing enough as it stands to sneak into the 4. Smith wins it down. Nice Griggs for the Tigers. Sutton laying the tackle. A few players with massive tackle numbers here this afternoon. Side rucks by the end of it, I'd imagine. Smith won that one down, but sharking it was Clifford, trying to turn into space here. Lockie Clifford gets his kick away. All back in dispute. Took a favourable bounce. Flick back to Eddie Cole. Who misses. 2 goals, 3. Just the 3 behinds for the turn for the Tigers. 2 goals, 8. The Lauderdale, they've kicked 1 goal, 2 after we were all square 12 apiece at quarter time. It's been a low-scoring grind so far. They clear defensive 50 here. I reckon that'll be a free kick for Smith. Gardner just infringing a little. Quick handball release to Williams off half-back now. Just chipped a little one inside and found Tyler Martin. Martin now will drive them inside 50. Christensen looking to bounce off a couple of tackles. Release the handball to Tilly. Tilly wants to go onto his right foot and does. He sends it deep and a man in space. Takes the mark. Super stuff from Oscar Shaw. Defender with a tough one there. Any contact would have been a free kick for front on. But it's taken, and it was Fergus Kenny, my apologies, not Oscar Shaw. So Kenny will go back. And he will kick around about 15 metres out. Goal kicking's been an issue this afternoon, but this imminently gettable for Fergus Kenny. He makes no mistake, and he extends the Bombers' lead to 11. 3 goals, 8-26, leading the Tigers 2-3-15. They get their second of the quarter. That's now the biggest lead of the afternoon at 11 points. They did well to absorb a spell of Tigers pressure there, not concede a goal, and go forwards and take their chance. So they've been a little more efficient in their chances here in this quarter. They had less of them. They played the entire first quarter on the front foot, having the better of the contest here, the Bombers. They know what they need to do. Very much on a mission to deliver it. So can the home side respond here? Trailing now by 11 points. Punched away by Tilly into space. Attacking it was Martin, but Reardon comes away with it. Oh, went the barrel. Brilliant spoil. Nat Franklin just dived on top of it. Reardon able to gather it again, though. They'll send it in the Graham direction. The spoil came from Williams. It fell into the hands, though, of Adams. Flicked it back over the top. Graham worked it onto Carter, looking for the high tackle. Umpire said, "Get ducked into it," holding the football. And the home crowd not liking it. The Bombers faithful enjoying it. And then Carter will be careful he doesn't give away a 50 here as he and Shaw fight on. Oh, clever little kick to McGuinness. It was a risky one, but it's opened things up. And then he lost the football. Risk reward football there from the Bombers, and the Tigers reclaim it. Wide ball. Clifford. Clifford. Almost the early leads, and then just chips one into the space where Ashland was lurking. And Ashland hit up a target. He spears one, and he finds a leading O'Neill. It was well thought out by the Tigers. Just waited for the leads to develop. A couple of good kicks. O'Neill, the beneficiary. First quarter went just 25 minutes. Wouldn't expect this one to be particularly long either. Can George O'Neill cut the margin back to 5 points? You can hear the Bombers faithful trying their utmost to pull him off, and he ran way too close to the man on the mark. Kicked it straight into Welch, but it was never going to do anything else. He kicked it from a metre away. Bizarre. Kept on fighting O'Neill and ended up working it to Keogh. Keogh flicks it back, snap around the corner, marked on the line. Nicely done back there by Stanley. And Josh McGuinness just settles it down. He knows the halftime siren won't be too far away here. McGuinness clears defensive 50. Reardon almost brought it down, got hands to it. Broomhall was in there though. Fletcher hooking the man with the footy. He gets a bump from Gardner on his way through. I want to say dying embers of the second term. There is the halftime siren. So another good quarter as far as the Bombers are concerned. And once again, it is kicking off here. Tyler Carter getting into it. He's pretty determined not to do anything that will get him rubbed out from week 1 of finals. So it's mainly just a lot of jumper grabbing, not really jumper punches, just a lot of shoving. A lot of trying to goad the opposition into doing something silly. But the scenario is, at halftime here, is once again things threaten to boil over. The Bombers are doing what they need to do. They're 3 goals, 8-26, leading the Tigers 2-3-15. And after it was all square at quarter time, I fancied the Tigers probably had the easier end to kick to in that term. But it was the Bombers who extended their lead. They've been the better team. They've looked like the side. They've had just a little more to play for here this afternoon. And they lead this one by 11 points at the break as they head off, finally separated. There's been fiery at times, but so far so good as far as the Bombers are concerned. They're well on their way to finals football. They can keep up the effort they've offered in the first 2 quarters. Take a break here on the Daily Potato Company live stream. The Bombers win and they're in. It's a pretty simple assignment and they're well on their way. At halftime here at the Twin Ovals, they lead 3-8-26. The Tigers 2-3-15.
That might be probably a good start, I think. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, definitely. What's that? Oh, I don't know. I think it's just two. What's not? Two. Yeah, I was too much. Telegraphed too much. So I've got it. I'm coming at you. I mean. Oh, yeah, that's not finished yet. What was that last night? Oh, no, it's become... Oh, you're right. Every March. Good players in there, but there's no one, they're not taking any, they're not cutting any corners. No one's out, it's close to the end, it's dropped.
So back for the second half here at the Twin Ovals. The home side in arrears by 11 points at the half-time break. 2-3-15 trailing Lauderdale. 3-8-26. Bombers knowing a win will get them into the finals. They're well on their way to just avoiding the machinations of a percentage battle that could well develop with the Northern Bombers taking on Norky, KG5 looking to run up the percentage and potentially catch Lauderdale on that. But a win here, and all of that is irrelevant. They're very much masters of their own destiny here today, the Lauderdale Bombers. They can produce another 2 quarters a similar manner to which they played the first half. They will be lining up in finals this year. They've been the better side. They've had the better of both quarters. It was 12 apiece at quarter time. Some inaccuracy cost them in that first term. Second term a little bit sharper, a more even battle. They extended their lead. 3 behinds, all the Tigers managed. The first clearance will go the way of the Bombers. Christensen at the target. Godomski out ahead of him though. Picked up and sent towards goal by Martin. Out the back, Blackburn! Just floated over the top of Sorty. He plays on Blackburn and gets the goal in the opening minute of the term and sends the travelling support into raptures. They've turned out in good and vocal numbers here this afternoon, the Bombers faithful. They're delighted with that start to the second half. Goal inside the opening 30 seconds to Michael Blackburn. And they extend their lead to 17 points. Well, on their way now, the Bombers. Do they have the motivation, I suppose, the Tigers, to really dig deep and fight back from behind in a game where it doesn't really matter to them? They're locked into second place. And Marlin sends it forward. Bounced almost for Christensen. It was taken by Godomski though. His handball picked off. Super stuff there from Tilly. Working hard is Tilly, laying the tackle as well. They're bringing the heat, these Bombers. They're looking to kill this game off early in the third. They've come out of the half-time break with a terrific intent. The Tigers under siege early on. Gardner up against Siggins. Siggins gathers. Siggins snaps. Siggins goes. They've kicked 2 in the opening 2 minutes. And the Lauderdale Bombers are well on their way to finals football. They lead this one by 23 points. They've more than doubled the lead in the opening 2 minutes of this term. And the Tigers have been jumped here to start the third quarter. Siggins gets on the board. And I gotta say, one of these sides is looking decidedly more motivated than the other, which of course makes sense. It's probably the fortune in the Bombers fixture, really, that they copped this Tigers outfit in around here where they had nothing to play for. Might be a tougher assignment. We saw when they met them the first 2 times in round 1 and 8. Big wins to the Tigers, but less to play for, leaving out the likes of Lovell and Tompkinson. Just left them right for the picking here today, and wasteful in the first quarter. Pretty good in the second term, given there was a wind advantage for the Tigers, and they've exploded out of the blocks here in quarter number 3 here, the Bombers. They know their assignment, and they are delivering on it. Will the Tigers fight back? Do they have the will to fight back? In a little bit of trouble here. Scored it out of play. Threes, so 23 points now, the margin. Looking to blow them away early on. Gardner pressuring Smith, charging through his Walsh. Crash in. Smith and Gardner with a bit more of the argy-bargy. But Marlin directing traffic. He's been one of his side's better players today. Smith, Gardner, let's boot the ball, tumbles it up in the lane direction, just pitches in front of him and left it behind. Tilly able to get a kick through the heavy traffic off the chest of Godomski. Tilly slams it on the boot, sends it deep, looking for Blackburn, a one-on-one with Sorty. Sorty just paddles it out in front here. He's looking for the safety of the line. That didn't look like sufficient intent to me. And the umpire agrees. Free kick to Blackburn. Probably still the right decision from Sorty anyway. His defence able to get back and get set. But they have to defend a situation here. Richmond almost brought it down, not quite. Griggs clears defensive 50. And Mark is taken by Clifford. Worked it inside to Rees, gave it to Eddie Cole. Dinks one over the top, just sat in the air, almost allowed Williams in, but the mark was taken. Rees continuing to move it. Sharp here from the Tigers. Jordan Lane hitting up at the football. Kicks an enormous goal on the stroke of quarter time. Tries to set one up here and he finds a marking target. And that man is Tom Wright. So, some nice stuff there. And big Jordan Lane gives the opportunity here for Wright, but it won't be an easy kick. He sends it on its way. It just drifted late across the face. Behind only, so the margin back to 22, but they needed a goal there from Wright. The Bombers have jumped them to start this term. Contest on centre wing. Tilly just sockers it into the middle of the ground. Donnelly there to gather. Handball back to Rees. He spreads it wide. Good use there, and he finds Golding in some space. He's got a man free, just hovered a little, allowed the defence in, and there was Ned Shaw. Claiming a hand on it, Salter. The mark paid to Ned Shaw. Just a little more hunger about the Bombers here. It's no surprise given what's on the line for them. Reardon almost brings it down from behind. Flicked it over the top to Clifford. Cole rather returned it back to Reardon. Reardon with an awkward one for Salter at half forward. Juggling it, eventually paid the mark too, corner Salter. Just chips it over the top, barely 15. Clifford swings it across the face of goal and he finds almost running Lockie Clifford. Complete. So Lockie Clifford there setting up, couldn't quite find the mark. Back into play. Shaw hearing the area, but won't clear defensive 50, gathered by Zach Adams. Adams, dangerous ball to the top of the square. Jordan Lane picks it up and puts it through. Well, how did he find the time and space to do that? Umpire says yes, all clear. And they get their first goal of quarter number 3 and cut the margin to 16 points. Jordan Lane with his second. The big man just stooping down, gathering it up, and putting it through easy as you like. Bombers defence won't be happy with that. What the requisite pressure they needed on the last line there. So will this spark a Tigers resurgence? The game's still well within keeping of the Bombers, who exploded out of the blocks here. The last few minutes have been much better from the Tigers though. Adams will send them forward once more. Lane! Great timely fist. Graham just about keeping it in. A conventional effort there. But tosses it back in once more. The head of Lane, Rees should be first to it. Gathers, tried to charge through a couple of defenders. Handball back to College, but they've turned it over here. Bodies around the ball for the Bombers. No one wants to take it because they know they're going to be gathered immediately. Marlon eventually does. Burrowing in his Rees, and eventually the umpire calls for it. Gardner won it down. Hayden Smith takes it away. Almost smothered by Adams. In the middle, sure, a free kick going the way of Broomhall, who was dealt with by Brewer. Now just chips on the half forward. Godomski floats across into the space and he picks that off. Godomski gets it moving quickly. Spider-Man, a little bit of room to manoeuvre. Clifford of the Will variety. Shipping it short to Lockie Clifford. Clifford's combined. Oh, underground. Certainly not his intent there from Lockie Clifford. Smith comes in to lay the tackle. And you can hear the roars of the Bombers faithful here. They are enjoying this from their side here. On the precipice of finals. Week 1 match-up with Clarence. Here's Tilly. Takes it across. Combining nicely, playing the 1-2. His kick not so good. Setting Ed Shaw a task. Off the deck, Suki turns it over to Zach Adams. So Adams sends it wide, looking for Jordan Lane, who takes it. Suki takes him to ground afterwards, and taking exception to that. And growing into this game, Jordan Lane. Real power forward. Driving this one deep, looking for Carter. Flying in from the side, mark not completed. Gathered eventually by Carter. Got boots of ball, direction non-existent. And pitches inside and out for a throw in. So what a bad result in the end from Carter. His best work. The umpire throws it back in once more. Smith and Carter. Carter out of the ruck, got his kick away. Right to the goal line. Stumbling down there, Shaw, but seeing through 4 behind. And cut the margin to 15. Josh McGuinness will reload. So McGuinness, the clear and kick, but intercepted by the imposing figure of big Marcus Gardner. Gardner sends it in deep once more. Spoil came from behind and they blasted on out of there. Another contest. Spoil from behind from Donnelly. Went back, couldn't quite gather it. Siggins in there, whacked away by Ashland. Siggins kept on fighting, got a kick forward into space. Sutton leads out into the football. Gave it back to Broomhall. Broomhall sends it down the line, but Godomski, with support from Reardon, the 2-on-1. Oh, brilliantly done, Fletcher Hooker. Got a hand in, unfortunately for him. Now straight up to Reardon. His kick pitches ahead of Gardner, an awkward bounce to deal with. All in dispute. Tigers win it back. Rees again. Richmond with a hand in the way of the handball. Doing a great job disrupting. Clifford and Cole with the double team. But the Bombers keep a hold of the footy with some sharp handballing. Richmond sent it wide. Now they'll drive it in the Christensen direction. Little hold there. Will it fall out the back for Blackburn? Umpire has spotted that hold against Christensen. And the free kick will go to Godomski, who's done a pretty good job in that key matchup here today. The dangerous Alan Christensen. Riley Ashland to Cooper Sorty. 15 points the margin here. It's been a grind and an arm wrestle all afternoon. Lane with a capital B. One back to Lennon Marlin. Drives the Bombers inside 50 and finds Christensen. Playing in front of Godomski on that occasion. Not much the defender could do when it comes in at that pace. And he'll go back from around about 45 to try and extend the Bombers' lead to 21. To goal in the second quarter, tight to the boundary line, Alan Christensen. This one probably calls with a more conventional drop punt rather than the snap around the corner. Kicking hasn't been easy at this end this afternoon. Christensen sends it on its way, always hung it near side, a behind only. The lead extends to 16 points. They get it moving quickly. Godomski. Godomski. Oh, a bit off more than he could chew there. It works out all right because it bounced back up to Rees. He goes looking for Salter. One back by the Bombers. Good tackle pressure from the Tigers. Just unable to gather, it was O'Neill. And that let in Tyler Martin. And their ball up. At the bottom of that pack, Josh McGuinness. Charging up and inserting himself into the match. It's a reliable performer for so long. Siggins with a little bit of a slip was still able to compete. Clifford tried to hit up Lane, but dropping back into the space was Ed Stanley. Now Stanley want to kick to a contest. Instead, bites off the 45 and finds a lovely kick to Franklin. That might open things up. Lovely ball movement here from the Bombers. Will it lead to a mark for Blackburn? Gadomski dropping back. Did it well. He clears defensive 50. There's Gadomski. Coming in was Ned Shaw. Sliding in Salter as support in the form of Golding. Clifford, still it stays in. Surrounded by Bombers. He kicks it back centrally. And Eddie Cole shows a good pair of hands. And that's surely going to be 50. Umpire lets him get away with it. A lot of holding after the mark there by the man on the mark. Tigers with some numbers out on the far side. That's where they head. Reese. Oh, it's a poor kick from Reese. Had a couple of free men and just turned it straight over. The ball use going forward has been a problem today for the Tigers. It's something they're certainly going to need to tidy up for week 1 of finals. Here's Ed Stanley. Sweeps the handball over the top into space. Bump from Cole, throwing his weight about there. They drive it to half forward. It's all Elijah Reardon parked back there. And he sparks something off half back here, Elijah Reardon. He assesses the field and stabs a little short one to Luke Graham. It's moving wide. Thought about the handball to Griggs. Instead, we'll just chip one down the line. Trying to find lane, doing well dropping back into space was Franklin. Tigers come away with it. Adams gave it to Griggs. His kick well smothered. It's been an area they've really excelled in today, the Bombers. There's been a lot of smothering, a lot of hands up into the kicking and handballing lanes, just impacting what the Tigers have wanted to do. It's been first rate, the defensive efforts. As Walsh unable to gather, dives after it. Umpire plucks a free kick and it's to go the way of Walsh, I would imagine. Yes. Walsh chips back. High up and under kick. Bounced up. Gathered by Brewer. Didn't really see an option he liked and just took it across the line. The throw in. So 16 points to lead here for the Bombers. Needing just a victory to qualify. If they were to lose, percentage would come into it, but they're looking like they're going to get the job done here today. Marlin with another good tackle on Golding. So these are the peaks and troughs this year, I reckon, for Leonard Marlin. He's had a few quiet weeks, but he's had a few, like today, where he has been absolutely enormous and showing what a contested bull he can be. Wins another clearance here. Reardon. Oh, the bounce on the smoothest surface. Just came back to him. Kicks it into space for Keogh. He's first there ahead of Williams. Arcs the back and then sends a handball over the head of Gadomski. O'Neill won it back, but then he coughed it up straight to Patton, and Patton's kick is equally scrappy, and the messy passage of play comes to an end with a throw in. So back into play. Mark is taken. Tigers moving the ball nicely across now to Eddie Golding. Golding looks up, ignores the leads, and then went back to Carter, who's finished making the lead, still almost brought it down. Shaw, scrappy old kick, helped on by Marlin. Walsh sweeps the handball to Rackett. Rackett slams it on the boot. Up towards Kenny on the wing. Spilt out the back. Donnelly gets away from Martin. Flicks a handball over the top and finds Griggs. Griggs will send them to half forward. It was a poor kick though, straight out of play. It's been a windy day. It has been tough out there, but ball use not great. It is 93-7 is the score. Over at KG5, the Northern Bombers holding up their end of the bargain. Unfortunately, the Northern fans, they're relying on the Tigers. As Reardon's caught with it, advantage played, one-on-one. Sorty up against Blackburn. Sorty spoils. Both keep their feet. Just wanting to rush this one through Godomski. Well, faked the rush and then turned away with it. His kick pitches just in front of Griggs. In a little bit of trouble here, Lockie Griggs. Umpire calls for a throw up. Kenny claiming him. So 16 points the lead. And they've only kicked 3 for the day for the Tigers. Christensen surely taken high. Umpire says no. A little unfortunate there, I would have thought, Christensen. Gardner won it down. Christensen bores in once more. Cleared out of there, though. The mark is taken by Eddie Cole, who wheels and goes immediately because he spied Clifford in some space. Clifford with a little low dart to half forward. Went to get the return ball. Handball missed him. Found its way to Cole. Cole spreads it out wide with an equally atrocious kick that went straight to Patton. Well, the ball use really letting him down. Christensen a chance. The two Tigers players spoil it. The Bombers players just sat and waited. See where it landed. Siggins has his shorts grabbed there by Eddie Cole. You can see the elastic going there. A dead set giveaway. And Sammy Siggins, who is a fair roost to the football, might fancy himself here from the arc of 50. By the time he's able to wheel around here and get those few extra metres, it's certainly not beyond a player of his calibre. He's been one of the stars of the competition this year, Sammy Siggins. Can he go back and kick an enormous goal in red time here in quarter number 3? It would make it very hard for the Tigers. Just goes with the drop punt. Stands it up to the top of the square. Gardner didn't complete the mark. Almost getting boots of ball there was Martin. And through for a minor score. 17 points. Now the margin. They take the kick quickly. Lane had 2 to contend with. Walsh at ground level. Is that a high tackle? It is. Just a little sloppy there from Max College. On hands and knees, Walsh draws the free kick. And he can go back with a more gettable chance. A chance to double the Tigers' tally here and make it very hard indeed for the Tigers. He could give his side an enormous boost here. Bryce Walsh to extend the lead to 23 points. He sets it on its way. It's drifting across the face. It never looked likely. 5 goals, 11 now for the Bombers. They probably should have put this game to bed a while ago. Reardon clears defensive 50. Lane with a strong mark. And tough work clearing defence. This afternoon, as I think 50 metres was Lane. Told us to take his kick. That's what he does. Floating in from the side nicely is Oscar Shaw. Shaw. Lane favoured for this one. Spoiled over the top of Martin. Ball back in dispute. Gathering at Clifford, immediately under pressure from Siggins. Walsh wrapping up College. And Cole in there as well. Gardner taps it down. Marlin dispossessed by Cole. Coming through Broomhall. Flicked the handball out. Almost let in Adams. A little chip from Sutton. Christensen sliding in. Couldn't quite gather it. Godomski. Fascinating battle between those two. Marlin with the banana from the boundary line. Squares it up. Blackburn lurking dangerously. Blackburn picks it up. Slams it over his shoulder and extends the lead to 24. No. He doesn't. He's gotten a bit carried away. Touched on a minor score only. 5 goals, 12. 19 points to lead. 2 goals, 7 behinds for that 19 points. They've left the door ajar. There's some bad finishing this afternoon, the Bombers. But I'm not sure the Tigers really necessarily have it in them to dig deep and pull off the victory anyway. Squares the kick back inside for Griggs. Griggs switches to Clifford, who's found some room on the wing. He's steady, sends it inboard. Not sure that was his intended target, but Keogh takes the mark. Kick perhaps just beyond him. Clifford's lurking. It would take something huge from here. Eventually called to play on. The Ops to just stand it up into the forward pocket. Repelled by the Bombers' defence once more. Reardon first to it. Just paddles it into the path of Brewer. And shifted sideways. It was a bad kick. And that will be all she wrote for quarter number 3. 3-quarter time at the Twins. Lauderdale have got 1 foot in the finals. They lead this one by 19 points. They extended their lead again in that quarter. They did the damage in the opening 2 minutes. They kicked both goals for the term in the first 100 seconds. And the Tigers, well, they pulled one back. And from there, it was a real arm wrestle and minor scores only. But that will suit the Bombers just fine. They need a victory to get in. They lead this one by 19 points, despite the Northern Bombers destroying the Magpies as they try and close the percentage gap elsewhere at KG5. That may all be for naught, because the Bombers with 4 points will qualify, and they are well on their way to doing that. It would take a huge effort from the Tigers to get over them in the final term. I'm not sure they've got the motivation to do it. We'll be back in around about 5 minutes' time to see how it all plays out. Bombers on the brink of finals. They lead this one by 19 at 3-quarter time. So, ready to go in the final term here at the Twin Ovals. The Lauderdale Bombers 20 minutes away from a finals berth. They've just got to protect a 19-point lead, and they're in. They were to slip up here in the final term. The door will be ajar for the Northern Bombers, who are doing everything they can to boost that percentage up against the Magpies. Close the gap a bit, quite enough yet, but I think the bigger problem for the Northern Bombers is going to be Lauderdale. They've looked the better team for 3 straight quarters here. I'd be shocked if the Tigers would have come over the top of them, but job not done yet. They've got to finish it off. We're underway in the final term for the Daily Potato Company. Flicked over the top by Ashland. Finds Elijah Reardon. Lane presenting up at it. Suki, clean at ground level. Flicks it out. Ed Stanley chucks it on the boot. Reardon, spoiled from behind, took it away from him. Clifford. He shifts it wide. They'll move it quickly. Clifford continued his run. Can he find a marking target? This is where they've broken down all afternoon. And Clifford puts it out on the full. Gee, they're going to need to tidy up in that area for week 1 of finals as Tilly and Clifford scrap off the ball. I think a little spot fires in this one. No one doing anything to put their finals campaigns in jeopardy, but plenty of argy-bargy. Smith flies, couldn't quite bring it down. Bryce Walsh is claimed in a strong tackle from Lockie Clifford. The Tigers need to strike early if they're going to turn this one round, do you fancy? Marlon been fantastic, just hacked that one off the ground. Rees spinning through and gets boot to ball, but he dropped it, and the umpire says incorrect disposal. Free kick will go to Smith. What about dishing it off to Marlon, but he says no. Send it down the line to a contest. No need for risky football here in this final term. Floats out the back, and the mark is taken by Tyler Martin. So Martin into the forward line, spoiled away from Blackburn. Kupasorti seeing it out of play. 19 points to deficit when you've only kicked 3-5 all day. Certainly looks an uphill task. Smith and Gardner. Sutton coming through, but claimed by Ashland. He sent the handball across, and they charge out of defence here to the Tigers. Tyler Carter presenting up at the football. Had a quiet afternoon as Tyler Carter. He just sets this one into the pocket, pitches there in front of Graham, shrugged the tackle, squares it up. Oh, dropping one he had to have there was right. Gets another bite out of it, dropped it, and then he's kicked a goal. Defender claiming a touch. What will the umpire's decision be? Touched is the call. And just to behind, much to the delight of the Bombers crowd here. It might be a Tigers home game nominally, but the crowd support certainly with the Bombers, not the Tigers. They've brought a travelling crowd here to see them into finals. That's going to be a hold and a free kick to Max College. Tigers dialing up the attack early here in the final term. Goals have been hard to come by this afternoon. That one just into space. Numbers favouring the Bombers there, and they'll sweep a couple of handballs to Ed Stanley, and they're away once more. Puts it out in front of Christensen. Marks, swings the handball to Hooker. Fletcher Hooker gets around Reardon, swings it towards goal. Getting back there, almost taking the mark was Siggins. Not quite, away from him by Donnelly. In support was Sorty. Clifford tracks this one, and it's out of play for a throw in. Any goal may well be the knockout blow here for the Bombers. 18 points on a day like this where there have been just 8 goals kicked. A sizable buffer. Gardner wins it down. Lennon Marlon gets to it first and swings it to the teeth of goal. Timely spoil came. Clifford flicks it right back into a dangerous area. Christensen runs into trouble. No holding the ball. Reardon lays a tackle. Clifford goes again. High pressure here at the back. Flicking the handball away was College, and they'll clear the area. They just about hang on, the Tigers. Somehow that stayed in for Lockie Griggs. He'll bite off another 40 metres as he swings it down the line. They want the safety of the line here, and finding it. There was Salter. Graham, rather. So, throw in on the wing. 18 points to lead for the Bombers. I'm surprised to see Eddie Cowell on the bottom of another pack, and Bryce Walsh tackling him. Racking up the tackles today. Smith with strength. Got it down to Clifford though. Clifford handed it to Cole. Cole looking there for O'Neill at half forward. Eventually gathers. Right. And the Bombers here, they can raffle it, but then running into trouble was Patton. Is that going to be holding the ball? Umpire says I'll have it. Congested old game afternoon. Clear out, says the ump. Gardner and Smith resume their duel. One down to Clifford. Clifford handballs to Clifford. The Cliffords combine, and Lane takes the chest mark. Charging out, he's kicked one here. And he could cut the margin to 12 points if he kicks truly here, Jordan Lane. But a mighty goal. Half time. Quarter time rather, to square things up there. Tough day for goal kickers though. What can Lane produce here? Can he cut the margin to 12 points? He'll kick from about 45. And he hung it out to the right. The margin remains at 17 now. Covering around 3 goals. 3 goals 7 to 5 goals 12. The wins played a part, but the best display of goal kicking you'll ever see this afternoon. Ball in dispute on the wing. Gardner away from Smith. Lane awaiting it out the back. They chip it inside 50. Carter with plenty of Bombers to deal with. Floats out the back. McGuinness. And safely rushed that one through. Confidently rushing the behind. Good to see that. Someone actually seems to know the rules down there. You're under pressure in 6 metres. You don't have to be subtle about it. No need for the disguise. Just get it over the line. McGuinness clears defensive 50. The pack forms. Clifford first to it. He's immediately gathered by Marlin. Dumped him. Gardner sends a high up and under. Should favour the Bombers. The spoil came. Motoring after this one is Cole. Oh, superb stuff though from Fergus. Kenny takes it away. Finds Walsh through the middle of the twin ovals they go. At half forward, Blackburn in some space. Siggins presents up. The umpire is calling. He's going to give the free kick in the end to Walsh. And a 50-metre penalty. Well, I have no idea what's happened off the ball there, what that is for, but Walsh now will kick from 35 and might just about be able to ice the game. Big moment. Bryce Walsh. He'll kick from 40, directly in front. He sends it on its way. It's straight through the middle. And you'd fancy the Bombers are playing finals in 2022. They extend the lead to 22 points. And it's hard to see the Tigers doing it from that far back. Bryce Walsh has battled mightily in the midfield all afternoon. And a 50-metre penalty has given them a 22-point lead. 8 minutes 40 into the final term. They've kicked 3 all day, the Tigers. They're going to need at least 4. And time is fast becoming an enemy. The Northern Bombers, they've held up there and they've boosted their percentage to 116.89. And should the Tigers come back, it would be the Bombers out, but They've been magnificent all afternoon here, have Lauderdale. They came here knowing what was required of them. Some bad goal kicking, about all you could really knock them for this afternoon. It's been a committed performance and only an undermanned Tigers outfit with questionable motivation. But they've done what they've had to do here, have Lauderdale. They'll be playing finals football, barring something drastic late as a stoppage at half forward here. Smith knocks it down, looking for Marlin. Marlin helps it further afield, but repelled out to Clifford. Clifford stands one up for Adams. Didn't make life easy for him, but he's able to win it anyway, Adams. And then he sets it out in front of Lane, who shows a strong pair of hands. Take the mark ahead of Suki. This is where they've broken down all afternoon, the Tigers. Lane will send them deep. Carter the target. The spoils come from the side off hands. Handball across to right. Great defensive pressure here from the Bombers. They won't yield, but the snap from Graham is across the face and out on the full. And again, so hard for any of the Tigers players to find room inside forward 50 there. Just the Bronx goes up for Tyler Carter. The Bombers faithful getting stuck in there. Well, that slip. So they clear defensive 50. Strong mark taken. Jordan Lane again. He's just about got the best pair of hands in the comp. He tried to spot up Carter, but Finn Rackett takes the intercept mark. Credit to the Bombers' defence. Ball use hasn't been good from the Tigers, but they've been well organised back there. Christensen. Without playing on. Eats up a few more valuable seconds, then drives it down the line to the next contest. And once again, it's Jordan Lane controlling the skies. He plucks that one, sends it inboard to Clifford, decides they need to switch things up because kicking the contest just not working at the moment. Here's Rees. Rees. Forced wide. Bombers with the spare man at this contest. It's Stanley. Couldn't take the juggling mark. Oh, then caught by Graham. Short was Ned Shaw. And Luke Graham will go back and try and cut the margin back to 16 points. You keep a glimmer for the Tigers, or indeed for the North Launceston Bombers, perhaps who they're really playing for at this stage. They're in second regardless of how this one ends. Graham has to kick this if the Tigers are any chance. He leans back on it and he puts it through the middle and kicks their fourth of the afternoon. They're back within 16 points. It's been a low-scoring game, but they're not there yet, the Lauderdale Bombers. The door remains ajar, however unlikely it may seem. 16 points, 13 minutes gone here in the final term. 116-8 is the score of KG5. Percentage gap being bridged, but it won't matter as long as the Bombers hold on and win. Walsh takes it out of the middle. He's been fantastic. Drives them deep, but the relieving mark taken by Rees. Gets it moving quickly. Chips it to Adams. Adams back into the corridor. Slightly risky kick, but Rees able to take the mark under pressure from Richmond, who's one of his quieter days for the season today, Harry Richmond. Searching ball for Graham. He's going to pick up steam and charge out a play for a throw-in at half forwards. So can the Tigers make this interesting and bring the battle for the Final Four right down to the wire, or will The Dale will be able to see them off. They've been the better side for most of the afternoon here. With a 16-point lead. They should be able to see it out. Will there be a late wobble? There's Clarence awaiting the Bombers. North South Week 1 of the finals. The Tigers will have the double chance and they will need it. As Smith was taken high. They take on, of course, Launceston Week 1. Broomhall always seeking the sanctuary of the line, and he gets it. Smith and Gardner, a couple of sore bodies at the end of this one. There's been a lot of ruck contests. Marlon again, happy to find the boundary line, just keep eating up the seconds. Every second that ticks off the clock is a second closer to finals for the Bombers. Smith wins it down. Gardner with a secondary fist. Cole came charging through, but Sam Tilley wrapped him up. Smith wins it down once more, but it'll be taken forward by Ashland. Jordan Lane as McGuinness drapes all over him. Carter. Not first to it was Williams. He gets it out of play. Hands and knees, he shuffles it across the line. Goal here for the Tigers would make things very interesting indeed. Carter casting the role of the ruckman. Tilley coming through. Oh, tackled off his kick was Franklin. Clifford bends one to the top of the square. And safety first from Oscar Shaw. He thumps it through for a behind. And the margin now 15 points. Chip kick to that man Shaw. Suddenly a free man in Tilley. Thought about switching up. Instead we'll just chip it sideways to Christensen, who's working back. The Bombers quite content to run clock here, eat up the seconds, just control things and settle it down at the back. Valuable seconds they're eating up here. Is driven up to the wing in the hooker direction. A few to compete with. Graham slapped it onto the boot of Ned Shaw. Siggins coming through with a sharp handball, but couldn't be gathered. Griggs crashing his way through the pack. Gathered by Reese, sends it in the Eddie Cole direction. Marks kept his feet. Just handballed it in front of Franklin, kept it on, and in the end he's lost the football to McGuinness. What they were looking there from Eddie Cole. Sam Tilley sweeps the handball. Oh, but running over the top of it, they've turned it over here. Fletcher Hooker sends them inside 50. Clifford was back there for the Tigers. He's able to steady it and send it across, but time fast becoming an enemy here of the Tigers. Mark taken by O'Neill. O'Neill to a contest. Lane was there, Graham was there. And it's out of play for a throw in. We tick towards red time. They need 3 goals, the Tigers. The Bombers are almost there. They can taste the finals. They've just got to hold on for a few more minutes. Cole, slick handball, trying to barge on through Brewer, going nowhere. The repeat stoppages works just fine as far as Lauderdale are concerned. Siggins in the ruck now. Free kick's been spotted over the shoulder. It will go the way of Sam Siggins. Again, in absolutely no rush. They know the scenario here. Just sits it up. Fly from behind from Reardon. Gathered by Broomhall. Reardon takes him to ground. Siggins charging through. College bringing him to ground. He'll go in the ruck against Siggins here. Christensen getting in there, not nominated ruckman. Siggins just too big, too strong, gets front position, sends it forward. Gathered, slinging shotters across the face of goal. And a good result for the Bombers. It'll be a throw in deep inside forward 50 as we tick towards red time. Barring something remarkable late here, they will be playing finals football, the Bombers. A goal would make an absolute certainty of it. In truth, they may not need it. College up against Siggins. Siggins takes it, but then College wraps him up. We're officially in red time. In another quarter, without the goals flowing, there won't be a whole lot of it. Siggins wins it down. Eddie Cole in there fighting hard, but locked up. And it's at the right end of the ground as far as Lauderdale are concerned. Siggins takes it out of the ruck. Handball across. Dancing through traffic was Franklin. And puts it across the face for a behind. He could have killed it there if it wasn't already. They've got to go. They're going to go quickly and probably right through the corridor here at the Tigers. There any chance. Reardon thumps it on the boot. Jordan Lane is there to give the contest. He drew a crowd. Fell to the Bombers. Overrun it. And then taken away. Walsh runs into trouble. But he was taken high by Eddie Cole. And Bryce Walsh, once again, in no hurry whatsoever. Time running out for the Tigers. They're almost there, the Bombers. To half forward. Great mark! Bringing it down, Sam Tilley. And he spreads it wide. And a man in some space in Lennon Marlin. I don't know that he'll be allowed to take his full 30 seconds here, even though he's gestured at the goal. Umpire tells him now to get a move along. And he'll just drive it deep to the goal square. Reardon flew, Siggins flew. No one could bring it down. Tackle laid by Wright. And with the seconds they've killed here, there's surely not the time now for the Tigers to kick 3 late ones. And surely it will be Lauderdale playing finals footy. Siggins out of the ruck. He's been the star man all year, Sammy Siggins. But that one was touched. I thought, fittingly, Siggins might have been the man to seal it, but just to behind. The Tigers still with one last chance, but Harry Richmond intercepts, and Harry Richmond drives it right back from whence it came, and Siggins brings down the mark, and that will seal it. He'll take his time. He'll go back. And I'd say regardless of the outcome of that kick, the Bombers will be playing finals footy. He will take his full allocation. And he can go back and book their passage through to week 1 of the finals. Sammy Siggins has been sensational all year for the Bombers. He's hung that one out to the right, so a couple of minor scores. We've ticked by 23 minutes. I don't think it's going to matter. And even 18 points the margin. As Reardon goes down the middle, Godomski drops one he should have had. Will it be Christensen to drive the dagger in? It will! Alan Christensen drives it through, and the Lauderdale Bombers will play finals football in September. They've iced this game. At the 23.5-minute mark, it's 24 points. They came here with a job to do, and a job they have done. Elsewhere, the Northern Bombers made up the percentage gap on them. It matters not. They've taken care of business here this afternoon, and Alan Christensen drives through the goal that secures their place in finals. 7:15:57 to 4:9:33. Only accuracy has kept the Tigers in this one, really. or inaccuracy rather, on Lauderdale's behalf. They've been the better side all afternoon. As Clifford comes charging through, that one floats across the face, and Oscar Shaw takes it down there. Shaw, a great kick. Tunneled a little there, but play allowed to continue. Here's Ed Stanley, just slams it on the boot under pressure from Carter. Trying the one-hander Martin. Gardner came through, worked it to Golding. Golding stands up looking for Lane, couldn't quite find him. Carter in there too. The ground level O'Neill. He's gathered and going nowhere. And ground level once more. Siggins content just to hold it on in there. They've done it, have the Bombers. They came here with a job to do, and they've been fantastic. Siggins just goes up with a leap, brings it down, clears the area. Mark not taken by Martin. Lennon Marlin's been fantastic today. Little handball from Brewer, and now back to Rees. Rees looking for Jordan Lane, who takes the mark. And he'll go back and kick. An attempt at a consolation score here for his second of the afternoon. A little more than adding one more to his season tally at this point. The result beyond doubt at this point. Jordan Lane, what a season he's had, and what a key man he's going to be for the Tigers' September hopes. He's a superstar, this man, and he goes back and slots the goal and cuts it back to 18 points. Too late. It'll be a meaningful impact on the contest, but there is a man who will loom large this September. Fancy if the Tigers are any chance of stopping the juggernaut that is Launceston, that man is going to be central to it. He's going to need a big bag in a big final. He's the type of player who can take a game away from you on his day. Supremely gifted. Just about the best pair of hands in the comp. Hasn't been his side's day today, but they were locked into second. Today was all about the Lauderdale Bombers booking their spot to join them. And they will be featuring in September. It'll be Clarence and Lauderdale, Launceston and the Kingborough Tigers week one of the finals. Flipped over the top by Wright. He finds Eddie Cole, checks back inside. Eddie Cole misses. Cuts it to 17 points. The siren can't be too far away. It's the longest of the 4 quarters that we've had today. Goals certainly haven't flowed 5:10 to 7:15. Could only be seconds left now as Oscar Shaw floats one out defensive 50, and that one's plucked down there by Richmond, who turns and sends it down the line. And there it is! The siren sounds and confirms the Bombers' participation in this year's finals series. They've held on to their place in the 4. It was a good thing they did win, because over at KG5, an enormous win from North Launceston. It's all elementary, however, because the Lauderdale Bombers held up their end of the bargain to get in. They walk away 17-point winners, 7-15-57 over the Tigers. 5-10-40. I don't think they'll be too fussed to have dropped this one today. Likes of Lovell and Tompkinson to come back in. They couldn't go up or down. It was the Bombers who had everything to play for today, and it showed. It showed in their endeavour. And their attack on the man and the ball. There was an extra edge, an extra desperation, a sense of desire about them that perhaps wasn't there for the Tigers today. I'm sure that'll be back come finals, but the Bombers, they knew what they had to do. They made it hard for themselves at times with some pretty inaccurate goal kicking, but ultimately they were the better team for the bulk of the afternoon. They thoroughly deserved their win, and they secure 4th place on the TSL ladder. The Clarence Roos now awaiting them week 1 of the finals. For the Tigers, well, a reset and then a juggernaut looms. They've got Launceston week 1 of the finals. I don't think any of the three Southern teams in there with them are under any illusions of how difficult it will be to stop this side in the finals. They're the side everyone is chasing. It remains to be seen if they can be caught. Both these sides will be doing their thing in September though. Second on the ladder for the Tigers. Won the first two comfortably over the Bombers. But today, when they needed it, with their backs against the walls, a must-win to qualify situation, the Lauderdale Bombers pulled out the result they needed. They produced a strong performance, and they'll head into September with their tails up. A pleasure bringing this one to you here this afternoon from the Twin Ovals. On a day where the Bombers secured fourth spot with a 17-point victory. I've been Andrew Cooling, calling the action for the Daily Potato Company live stream. Next time we bring a stream to you, it will be finals. You won't want to miss that. But from the Twin Ovals here this afternoon, as Josh McGuinness is shared off here in his milestone game. His side getting the job done this afternoon. The Bombers will play finals. They down the Tigers by 17 points. Myself, Andrew Cooley. It's bye for now.